back to Attingham Park, and we are just finishing off the wheat harvest. I thought I would time-lapse this as we did a whole video on it, which was pretty long last time. So yep, just going to get this done fairly quickly. I'm using the new microphone for the last couple of videos actually, and so there might be the odd pause because I keep checking the meter level to see how it is. It's not fully set up yet, but I'm trying it in kind of a plug and play, and I don't know if it's better or not. Hopefully it is. It's definitely a lot more sensitive. So yeah, I've got a lot more setup to do on it, but just gonna wing it and see how it goes. I have updated auto load again. I think when I updated it in the last video, I went for the mod hub version, which is not the latest. Obviously you want to go to GitHub to get the latest versions of things like auto load, because that's where Loki releases them before they get released properly. Just going to say a quick thank you to the patrons, Jay and Brian. You guys are awesome, and all of the other patrons and YouTube channel members. Appreciate all of you supporting the channel. So most of the way done now. Thought I'd slow things down a bit. Got auto drive kicking in to do the carting for us, and actually it did a pretty good job once I cleared the bales off. The reason that I jumped in the class, the big class, the Axion, was because the JCB was just really struggling having the field littered in so many bales, and it means I've got less of a job to do clearing them up later. Now that I have auto load sorted and we've got the bale mode, it's so much better. Really great addition from Loki, and auto drivers just hit the weight point. So I'm going to take over and back into the silo. As I said in the last video, I didn't feel like creating a reverse course that would do this maneuver reliably. It's a pretty tricky job for auto drive to do, and I can just jump over and do it. You know, it's not the end of the world. So we've got a decent amount in there. I'm not sure if I reset the counter or not, because it's either I did and we used pretty much all of the wheat mix and grain mix, or yeah, we'll see. Either way, it's a pretty good yield off a decent sized field. I think I actually got these confused when I was doing the whole crop signage as to which was wheat and which was barley, but you know, we got a nice yield off of here. Going to be going for grain mix for our new addition to the farm, which we will get to in a moment. You'll have seen it in the thumbnail, so you'll have an idea what we're doing. The reason that we are actually, let's just get the last of this tip. So another 5,000 litres. I think if I'd hung on, maybe I could have fitted that in the trailer, because it wasn't, auto drive didn't completely fill it, but you know, yeah, it's one of those things that doesn't really matter. So 178,000 on that. 190, yeah, maybe we did. Maybe we did get 178,000 litres of wheat off of there. It's pretty nuts. Pretty good as well, I think, for what's coming next, which is pigs. So we've got to do a bunch of landscaping. I hate landscaping in FS. This took way longer than it should have done, but I've added in the enhanced animal system, which with pigs gives you, I think it's between either 7 and 11 or 8 and 12 piglets from each pig, with an equal chance of getting them. So this is the enclosure we're going for. So I'm just working out how big of a pad we need to make. Yeah, so we're going to get quite a lot of piglets. I'm not going to start with that many pigs, and we'll just see how it works. I'm really curious for this. I think it's a brilliant addition to the game. Changes the balance quite a lot, particularly something like pigs, which is a good thing, because pigs are really hard to make money from in FS. You have to play some funny games with them, and this might just swing that balance for us. So we'll see. I might do a separate video on the enhanced animal system and how it changes some of the finances. I don't know, actually. It would be a lot of work. I'm still working on the Can You Make Money videos. So beef should have been released by now. It's processing at the moment. Next is sheep, and then we will do pigs and then horses to complete the set. So still quite a bit more to do. Here we have quite a lot of leveling to do, so I want to try and get a I think I picked the wrong level, so I picked this back corner. I should probably have picked somewhere near the path and pushed the corner in here down, because it's where the shed is and it wouldn't have mattered. Hindsight and all that, I guess. I had a real nightmare with the landscaping, as I said. In the end, after I got it placed, I installed Modelashes, Paint and Terraform Anywhere, and that seemed to really improve things. The leveling and the smoothing didn't seem to level and smooth everywhere. And whether it's something funny with this bit of the map, I don't know. But you can see here, it's really rough, even though I'm leveling. So, yeah, the leveling and smoothing didn't do it. So in the end, I added the Terraform Anywhere, and that helped a lot. I'm content with what we end up with. It's not brilliant. It's good enough. But the other mod that I have completely forgotten the name of is the... it was on ModHub recently. I'll try and remember to put it on the screen when I do the edit. I'm just looking for a pen to make a note. Is the one that adds in a HUD or a GUI. It's a GUI, really. A menu, let's call it a menu for what the animals eat with maizePlus, because I'm not used to what pigs need to eat, and so it was a really nice addition as I was trying to work out what to feed them. I'm going to be using a combination of obviously we can make our own grain mix, so we're going to use that because that kind of makes sense. We've got brewer's grain, we've got beet pulp that we're producing over at the sugar mill, and the last one was potatoes, which we're going to get from the farm supply pack at the moment. Next year we need to look at planting some potatoes. So this shed holds 80 cows, costs, I think that was 50 grand, which is pretty good. It does come with a manure plate bunker, something, which should fit with it, but the issue is that it only rotates on 90 or 45 degrees, and clearly I have not placed the shed on 90 or 45 degrees because this map isn't really aligned to that, as you can see, because we're aligned with the sheds for the sheep opposite, and it doesn't really work. So we're just going to use base game 1 because we can rotate that freely. I could have edited the other one, I guess. And there are some problems with rotation and things that produce heaps. But I figured go for the base game 1. We're going to be safe. And we can just tuck it in the corner here. It's just inside the gate post, so that should be fine. Yeah, that's the start of things. You can see the landscaping is pretty rough. So we're going to do a fair bit of work on trying to improve things around that. Some of it I'm going to do off camera because I basically got bored of recording it and there was a bit of backwards and forwards. So next thing I'm going to put in is a couple of the Doika silos that come with maizePlus. I think you can buy at these as well. I know you can with the other containers. I'm not sure about with these, but plan is to store our own crops in them anyway. So that's the plan. And then I need an option for storing the root crops and things. So I'm going to have to work something out for that. But for now, we're going to tip the grain mix into the Doika silo. And then we'll have a look at options for storing other things. I'm really curious about this enhanced animal system. I think it brings so much to animals to complement maizePlus, so animals can die when they get older, quite a lot older. You get more offspring. So yeah, it's really cool, I think. And just selling the manure heap, because I want to see if I can put some bunker silos in to store the root crops in. Again, maizePlus includes some bunker silos. I had forgotten that these, again, because they have heaps tipped in them, these have limited rotation, so that's not going to work. That's a manure heap. Again, that's not going to be helpful for us. So I did a bit of put this back. I did a bit of pondering and remembering of what's been released. And I had to go away and download some mods, and in a moment we'll see what I went for, because I can't remember how long it takes me to get to that point. It is placed now. You'll see it as we get back. We are headed over to the buy points that come with maizePlus so that we can get some brewer's grain. We also can get beet pulp from the sugar mill, which we need to come over and deal with because it's processed everything and all the outputs are waiting. So we need to come over and get the molasses, and we'll get the beet pulp and sell the sugar, I guess. This is the brewer's grain, so pigs can eat the fermented or unfermented version. We're going to go for unfermented because that saves me baling it and fermenting it, or putting it in a clamp and fermenting it. It's a really good value product, so yeah, really cheap. 400 and call it 500 quid for 10,000 litres. So yeah, it's essentially a waste product from the brewing industry, so yeah, really good way of getting some cheap bulk feed for the pigs. I will flash the menu up in a bit. Obviously I record this afterwards, so needing to remember when I actually added it in, because I did a lot of this before I added in that mod whose name I've forgotten. So yeah, let's get this tipped, and I've added in, again, I'm struggling to remember, it's the it was released on ModHub last week, and it's basically a brick store for tipping crops into. It doesn't have collisions on the walls. That's obviously something that's complicated in modding, maybe. I don't know. It would be really nice if it had collisions that stopped the crops going through. It doesn't, so it's essentially a nice visual, but I think it looks cool and the idea is good. But yeah, you can just see it starting to creep through the wall. Have the same problem with the sheds on Maypole Farm that I added in from Lancey Boy, so I don't know. Anyway, up at the sugar mill, this is by Just Add Adam with the byproducts, and one of those is beet pulp. So we put in, I think we only put in a trailer load of sugar beet, and we're essentially getting a trailer load of beet pulp back out the other side, which is pretty awesome because, you know, we can put beets in, get feed for the pigs out, and the molasses and the sugar. So really nice there. And that's 3 of the 4 food groups covered. For really, you know, quite minimal. The grain mix is, I guess, is quite valuable. But yeah, it's the only thing that's really costing us a lot of money in terms of feeding the pigs. So I think it's going to work. My plan is to sell the piglets quite young. Maybe give them a month or 2 to gain a little bit of value and then get them sold. We'll need to get probably a lorry and a big animal trailer to do that. But yeah. So the New Holland skid steer, which I have barely used, it's on 0 hours, is going to be sold because I have the Kubota pack back now. Now we're back on we've been back on the good laptop for a while, but yeah, I've got the Kubota pack, so I really like the tracked Kubota skid steer. It's a really nice bit of kit as well. So we're going to sell this one, £26,000, and take what I consider to be a fairly substantial upgrade. It's a lot of money, but it is a really nice bit of kit, I think. We've got all the implements that we need spread over at the sheep farm because we had skid steer over there for doing stuff, and it just really didn't get used, so it makes sense to use it over here. Track sound is really nice. So yeah, we're going to buy some potatoes from the farm supply pack. These are 5,000 litres of potatoes for £1,000, the same as everything else in the farm supply pack. It is my go-to for feeding animals on a budget. Yeah, £4,000 for 20,000 litres of potatoes. It's pretty good, I think. And potatoes are cheap anyway. Yeah, that's probably almost the price of buying them loose, or, you know, the value of them. So, yeah, just need to try and work out how to get the forks into the pallet. That's me, not the pallet. This is an issue. Obviously, 5,000 litres of potatoes is quite a lot of weight. So, yeah, the skid steer, although it's a pretty beefy skid steer, is struggling to pick them up. I think next time we might use a trailer and tip them on the floor, the same as we've done for everything else. It's also not helped by the slightly dodgy landscaping on the edge there. Yeah, landscaping is just still not fun in FS, in my opinion. Hey, we made it. I'm going to do a bit of landscaping there, try and get rid of that edge, see if it makes it a little bit easier. But once we've got these stacked, we're not going to move them again. We'll use the bucket to feed from them because we don't need a full pallet. But yeah, we're just going to try and do a little bit of landscaping. Now we've got Terraform Everywhere mod. That should make it so we can just pull that level across and get rid of the lip so we can drive straight in at least. Lots of landscaping in this video. Lots of landscaping not in this video, because I spent a lot of time doing this to get something that I could tolerate, basically. Yeah, I hate landscaping. You can see we've got a fair bit of grass work to do still as well this month. So that was a maize field that we planted after the maize, I think. I'm struggling to remember when I planted it. There's a reason that it might have been we might have just added, wow, a big flock of geese going over. I might have just planted that because I wanted more grassland with all the animals we have. I'm struggling to remember now, and today the migraine is kicking me just a little bit. So yeah, but I'm so behind on content creation that I need to try and get some stuff done so that I can get a little bit ahead. So those are all stacked, good there. Brought the bucket over that we had over at the sheep pen. It's a high dump bucket, which I'm not a big fan of. We need to do some landscaping here as well. This is not great, but yeah, I think I'd had enough of landscaping at this point. It's not my favorite thing, but we are going to get some grain mix in the shovel. Can probably go for a full shovel to get the pigs going. I'm hoping that I haven't brought the pigs off camera or missed recording buying the pigs. I have a feeling I might. Oh, no. Hopefully I'm going to show that now before we put feed in. Yeah, there we go. So let's buy some pigs. We're going to go for the German land race. We're going to go for the mature ones, 6 months old. I'm going to get them delivered. And I'm going to buy 4. Now, in theory, this is going to give us 36 piglets in 4 months' time. So we'll be looking to very quickly sell those on so we don't get overrun. Much more like the numbers you would have got with FS19 seasons. And it's very, I found with that you could very quickly get overrun with piglets and you needed to keep on top of it. Particularly with the feed levels with maizePlus now, you don't. I think when I ran a large pig farm on FS19 with maizePlus, I was up at nearly 1,000 pigs. I don't think we want to do that on here. Yeah, that will not be fun. So just going to basically put a shovel of everything into the trough, and we'll see how they go. The feeding is a bit different to cattle in that it's not the 40, 30, 20, 10. It's a bit more balanced. I think the only one that's low is the potato group, which is down at 10%. The rest are a bit more balanced than with the dairy and the beef and the sheep. So yeah, it's going to be a fun little addition. I've added these on the Furling Let's Play as well. So we're not going to add them to anything else because I'm doing them on 2 Let's Plays. It's kind of a me thing. When I get interested in something, I want to do it on everything, and that just makes it a bit repetitive. So no more pigs anywhere else. No pigs on Maypole. No pigs on Greenlands. So there we go. So it's 40, 30. Yeah, it is 40, 30, 20, 10. Okay. I didn't think it was. Oh well. So yeah, we're going to get a little bit of potato and we'll be good. Hopefully we can fill these from the pallet. There we go. Perfect. I think they're going to last us quite a long time. We'll obviously throw a tarp over all of that to keep it dry if we get any rain, which we do have in the forecast. So, yep. We'll get a tarp out and get those covered up. Keep them nice and fresh. I guess the potatoes you could just leave because they're in bags. So, yeah, we'll get a tarp over them. So, we'll park this up here for now. A little lean-to would be quite nice there if we could get one between the 2 buildings to keep that. And we're going to jump in the G series and grab some straw because the pigs do need straw as well. So benefit, we're going to be using more straw because we still have an awful lot of it. And I'd love to clear this shed out to deal with the half collapse. Obviously stacking as high as possible was not the best idea. Something that came up on Discord. So in the corner behind me now to the right, I have about 6 stacked about 4 or 5 bales high, and it seems perfectly fine, but it's outside. But, I didn't quite turn far enough. You can just see the grass bales there. The straw bales in the shed, when I went that high, it just exploded. There. They were 6 bales high. They were fine. But in the shed, they just didn't work as well. So whether it's a interaction of shed collisions and bale collisions causing problems, so I'm definitely not going to stack them as high. But maybe I just need to do the job and get that shed tidied up. It did take quite a while to stack them all. I did most of it off camera. But maybe we just need to clear that shed or restack that shed so we could work the other way. That might be a job we need to do before we bring all the fresh bales back. Just get it restacked. Can you sense my enthusiasm for that job? But it does bug me that it looks so messy, particularly I spent ages stacking those. And yeah, it just kind of went wrong. But maybe with the JCB's probably too big to get in there to stack. I don't know. But I think I am half tempted to restack those. So let's get some straw over there, and we will call it a day at that point. Yeah. Slightly shorter one today, something a bit different. I want to test out or play with that enhanced animal system. I wanted to break up the harvesting videos because there's been a lot of them across 2 of the series. So to avoid that back-to-back harvesting, I thought I would do this. And this save is about testing stuff. So it's why we're keeping it going, to test new stuff. So yeah, let's test maizePlus pigs and the enhanced animal system, see how we do. Suggestions for a truck and trailer to move the volume of animals we're going to get, or an animal truck, stick them in the comments, because I haven't looked yet, and if you've got ideas, that would be kind of cool. Something British start, maybe the Volvo from the Platinum expansion. We'll have a look. Definitely kind of like that. And I think at this point, as we do the straw, I will say thanks for watching, folks. If you enjoyed the video, click the like button. We don't smash like buttons. If you smash it, you have to buy me a coffee. Comments, questions, or suggestions below. And if you're not already, and more than 60% of you aren't at the moment, please think about subscribing to the channel and turning on notifications. And I will see you next time on Attingham Park.